Yo, 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 what is popping, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the Streets. If y'all getting some value from these videos, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Today, we are going to go over the scope of work on a fix and flip. This is just like a rough scope of work. Every fix and flip is different, every project is different, but I'll just give you a rough idea. We're doing a fix and flip right now, and we're just hitting all the regular ticket items that are on a regular fix and flip. So I'm just going to go over what the scope of work looks like for the specific fix and flip that we're doing right now. Like I said, every single deal is different, but what I'll do is I'll go over sort of what this scope of work looks like for us on this particular deal. So we have 86 Mulberry Street. Okay. So what are we starting with? Typically, right when we get into a deal, we always start with demo, right? The demo for this property is essentially taking down some walls. So we're taking down walls, ripping up flooring, and then there's just some nasty stuff in the old kitchen that we'll have to take off. And then the appliances, right? Like the vanities that we don't want anymore. We have the demo guys rip that stuff out. The old stove and stuff like that. Those are the type of things that the demo guys will throw in the dumpster. So we also get a dumpster for this. The dumpster stays there throughout the whole entire project, but this is when we initially get it. Before we have to do anything, before we start anything, we have to pull permits. We get a general contractor to pull permits, and then boom, we start the demo. So after the demo is completed and everything's exposed, and the general contractor can pretty much see everything that he needs to see, he then starts his work. So what does the GC do? The guy, the framer, right? He's the, I'm trying to think of the word. Somebody's got to help me out. The framer, whatever the hell his name is. So essentially, the guy that does the framing, okay, he's going to come in and he's going to do framing. And he's going to do all the structural stuff, right? We'll call this framing / structure. Okay, I call it my GC because my GC is the guy who does all this stuff. But general contractor is typically the guy that manages everybody. But this is just a contractor that does the framing and the structure and everything like that. So what he's going to do in this particular property is he's going to put a dormer in. If that's how you spell dormer, I do not know. I told you guys I stink at spelling. Now, he's going to put a dormer in for one. He's going to put a couple support beams. And he's also going to frame out some closets. So, boom, your framing's now done. So now we have demoed the property. We've done all the framing that needs to be done. Now we get a plumber in there to do all the plumbing work. For this one, we're putting the kitchen somewhere else. So the plumbing's going to have to be redone in the kitchen. And then we're also adding plumbing in the bathroom. So, boom, call this plumbing. So then you have your plumber get in there. The reason why we have the plumber get in there before the electrician, because right after the plumber goes there, we get the electrician to go in there. The reason we do that is because it's easier to bend wires. Like depending on the deal, sometimes there's old houses, especially up here in Massachusetts, and a lot of stuff comes up. So if we do the plumbing and then the electrical work, the electrician now has an easier job to get through stuff rather than doing the electrical work. No, the plumber would have a tough job doing it after the electrician because it's harder to, bend plumbing than it is to bend wires. So we have the electrician go in there after the plumber. Okay. Once we're done with the electrical work, we then map out. Actually, this happens probably somewhere in the middle of this, but we're essentially mapping out our kitchen. kitchen, and bath. So what we do is we have a guy go out there that is a professional with kitchens and baths, and they essentially map it out. And they're like, okay, here's where the sink is going to go, here's where this is going to go, that is going to go, and they map it out, and we order the appliances. This actually happens right around here. I just forgot about it. Okay. Um, so once that's done, right, we now have the framing done. We now have the plumbing done. We now have the electrical work done. Now, what do we need? Since everything's kind of open now, there's new framing there. There's demo that's done, right? Think about it. There's probably holes in the wall at this point. We're going to need to add two things to a couple places that we did demo and some new framing. We're going to have to add insulation and drywall. So once we add the insulation and drywall, insulation is like the foamy stuff that you guys see in order to keep the house warm. So once the insulation's put in, the drywall's put in, we're like, boom, we're ready to rock and roll. We get our painter in there. Painter comes in, boom, paints the place. We do that before this flooring. Why? Because if paint falls on the plywood floors, it's not that big of an issue, right? But if the paint falls on our new vinyl flooring, it's a freaking issue. So after the painter comes in, then the flooring guy comes in, then our kitchen and bath is put in. Then after the kitchen and bath is put in, we do all of our finished work. What is our finished work? Our finished work is, the things that you call baseboards and stuff like that. All the finished carpentry. Boom, there's the word, carpentry. Carpenter is our guy who does this stuff. I could not think of this freaking word, but our carpenter is the guy who does all that stuff. But we're not done. That's just pretty much the interior. The exterior, for this deal, all we got to do is landscape. There's nothing else that needs to be done. However, on other deals, you'll have a lot of other things. You'll have to replace the siding. You'll have to do the windows, right? You'll have to do the roof. Like, there's a bunch of different exterior things that need to be done on most deals. We just got lucky on this one. The only thing that needs to be done is the landscape. So there are a ton of different other things that go into renovations, like septic systems, right? And all those types of things, like structural issues in the basement sometimes. Maybe there's foundational work, right? But this is we have a very simple fix and flip that we're doing right now. And this is just a very, very basic scope of work. The reason why I'm going over it today is because we actually kind of finalized this thing today in our business, because we met with finally we met with a really good contractor that is going to help us out. So I hope this brought y'all some value. If it did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Peace.